All right, remove that. Hold on, guys. We got a little technical difficulty here on some of the stuff, but we'll get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final score with
Eric, how about them Cowboys saw ya?
And I'm the new elected mayor for Giants Nation, Matthew Bazemore.
And Stevie Reno Fly.
What's up, guys? Look at here. The band's back together again after a long absence. The Three Musketeers are back. Yeah, Matthew, Eric, and Stevie back again on the final score. Just in time for you talk about free agency frenzy in the NFL. We'll talk about the madness that is March in NCAA basketball. Get ready to kick off tonight with the playing games. We'll talk about a little controversy going on with that. Get my guys' opinions on one team that a lot of people think shouldn't have made it in, but we'll see what everybody's opinion is there. First off, let's start around the horn. Let's go to the guy up there with no picture up there. He's so pretty he can't even put his picture on social media. Matthew Bazemore, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Stevie? Like I told you, I can't get my camera on because I keep picking my nose, and it's a habit, so I don't want nobody to see me picking my nose.
My excuse for you was a little bit better, bud. I mean, you're so pretty you can't even get on camera. I mean, that was a better excuse. I don't know if you would listen to me or not, but anyway.
I heard you, but I wanted to correct you because I'm having a bad hair day too, so I don't think that'll work either.
That's why I wear a hat, dude.
Yeah,
Eric's down there all primped and pretty. Probably went to a daggum,
hair
got makeup
salon.
on and everything before he came on the air. To makeup with us again. How about them Cowboys, Mr. Eric Sawyer? What's up?
The boys are back in town.
Jeez,
We back.
Jeez. They're back in town. All right, they're going to do the same thing they do every year again.
It's not all year.
At least y'all did spend some money this year.
On who? Bums.
I mean, you spent some this year though. You didn't just get a long snapper like you did last year. You got a long snapper plus two or three other people.
Yeah, we got some guys, but they ain't no. I call it a splash.
Yeah, you didn't get those splash players, but
Didn't you get Miles Sanders?
yeah, I don't call that a splash player
Yeah, well,
anymore.
no, yeah, but probably
I,
about the best one up there.
Look, somebody was talking about another Steelers fan was talking about, well, I was talking about we need another running back, and it was like, well, Miles Sanders, but he's gonna cost too much. And I was like, not after he ripped the Panthers off last year, because he sure didn't earn his pay with the Panthers. That's for daggum sure. But change of scenery might do him a little good. But anyway, how you guys been doing? It's been a while. It's been a while. So how's everybody doing?
Go ahead, Matthew.
Going really good. Just staying busy, trying to stay out of trouble, and ready for the summer to get here. I'm tired of cold weather.
Yeah, Mother Nature can't make up the mind. I went out this morning to let the dogs out early, and I was like, God knows, here we go again. Cold. It was cold this morning. So
Feels good this afternoon though.
yeah, this afternoon turned out to be a pretty day. And I
Yeah.
think we've got enough rain. We definitely got enough rain. Um, I feel like I'm living in a swamp like Shrek. I'm an ogre. I'm an ogre. So yeah, I feel like I'm Shrek still living in a swamp around here. But what about you, Eric? I mean, big money. Big money just got off a cruise, boy.
I want to say money, but I've been wide open. Work been wide open. My boy, he doing karate, Cobra Kai.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and Brooklyn, she getting cranked up with softball again. So wide open dad life.
So is he getting taught mercy is for the weak? We are not trained to be merciful here in this
No,
dojo. Do
no,
we?
we show no mercy.
Show no mercy, Johnny Lawrence. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's coming up on the On Fly podcast. You'll get if my special guest host will live up to what he says he's going to do. We're going to do a whole Karate Kid retrospective. So get ready for that on the Fly. But anyway, we're here to talk sports. And one of the main things we like to talk about firsthand, and we've already talked a little bit about it. NFL free agency started Monday before last. And, to say some things happened, first of all, let's get to something that just happened a couple of days ago. How are the Cincinnati Bengals paying all these guys? Jamar Chase gets a 4-year, $161 million extension, and T. Higgins gets a 4-year deal worth $115 million. Not not counting what you're giving Joe Burrow. How are they paying all these guys?
Well, my personal opinion is you paying all these guys, and did they had the best offense? If not, did they have the best offense in the league last year?
Yeah.
But the defense, you got nobody on defense, so you're gonna have the same results. So what's the point of paying all these? I mean, I understand Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. He's really good too, but I think I would have laid off one of them and got some defensive guys to help me out.
Well, not only is you're not going to have the same defense probably next year because they gave Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. So your best defensive player, the guy that gets the pressure for you, it is likely to be gone.
Right.
So what's going to happen there? I mean, yeah, it's just like you said, and I've said it a million times, and I'm going to use your boys and I'm going to use Cleveland Browns as an example. You pay 2 or 3 guys all your cap money. You don't have the money to spread around to get more weapons. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak getting a lot of that money. Now you got to work out, try to move money around to get Micah on defense re-signed. So whether that happens or not, we don't know. That's up in the air. Look at the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. With yeah, like I've said a million times, Cleveland Browns could screw up a 2-car funeral, and they have with that. But yeah, don't. I mean, I know it's a job. I know it's their job. It's their livelihood. But one of the things that all the players want to do or should want to do is win a ring. Look at Myles Garrett. What did Myles Garrett say about a month ago? I want out of Cleveland. I want to trade. I want to go somewhere to win. So they offer him what, $40 million a year. All of a sudden, he thinks he's going to win in Cleveland with the same group he's had. What's the difference? It's no difference. Myles Garrett is just in it for the money. That was just something to get Cleveland to think about paying him more money. So I mean, I don't.
Different light on. Hold on. See if I can get different
Yeah,
light.
you're a little dark in there, bud. So, I just don't get it. I mean, if you want to win, a ring. I know it's about making money, and don't blame them there a bit. But you want to win a ring, you got to do something to make it where you got weapons around you. And some of these teams are not doing that. What say you, Matthew? Matthew fell asleep.
I'm not sure. Going back to the Cincinnati Bengals, I don't know how they're playing all these players. I'm like Eric. I would have got rid of one of them, and traded them. I don't know if Joe Burrow is taking a pay cut. I doubt it, but somebody's contract has got to be, what do you call it, modified? What's
Yeah. Got restructured.
Restructured, yes. That's my only thing, and maybe they restructured some contracts. I haven't seen if they have or not. Joe Burrow, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to let them restructure his contract.
Well, let's see. Chase's deal contains $112 million guaranteed. He's the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Higgins is the highest paid second string wide receiver, and his extension can reach over $30 million per year with incentives. So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know how you're doing it. it's. I know the cap went up a little bit this year, so but not that much. It ain't gone
Yeah,
up that.
I mean, and if they, I don't see why they use some of that. They didn't use some of that money on the defensive player because yeah, they
Well,
had the best offense in the league, but I think probably one of the worst defenses in the league. So
well, the Bengals can score 40 points a game, but they're gonna give up 45 a game.
that's
I mean,
right.
and that ain't gonna win ball games. Um, but yeah, I don't understand the move. Maybe it might end up they win the Super Bowl next year. Who knows? But it just doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like you need to, after last year especially, you need to be paying some defensive players, and they're not doing that. So let's go through some of these teams' free agencies. Uh, Start with the Cardinals, and I'm not going to go through everybody they retained or they signed, just the names that stick out. They signed Josh Sweat from the Eagles, 4 years, $76 million. Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback, 2 years, 12.5 million. So that's really the biggest splashes they made. If you could, the Sweat deal, that's a big splash. The Sweat was a big part of that defense for the Eagles. That dominated. By the way, how dominant? I mean, we haven't been on since the Super Bowl. How dominant was that Philadelphia Eagles defense in the Super Bowl?
They should the front four should have won the MVP trophy.
I agree. I said that.
Yep, they should have split it. Jalen Hurts. Not saying he didn't play a great game, but that front four, I mean, it was dominant. Patrick Mahomes didn't stand a chance.
When you get that kind of pressure on him and don't dial up a blitz one time all night, the front four is just getting that kind of pressure. That's saying something. They abused that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. And yeah, Mahomes was running for his life. I mean, final score was what, 40-24, and it really wasn't that close. There was some garbage touchdowns at the end for Kansas City. It was nowhere near that close. This was almost as dominant a Super Bowl win. Gosh. And for it,
Oh, go ahead. I was about to say that Tampa Bay played Oakland.
yeah, that but almost, I would say it was right on par with, not quite, because you guys are not old enough to remember watching the Bears trounce the Patriots that year in '85 when they had that 46 defense with Buddy Ryan. That was one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen, unless you're a Chicago Bears fan. But yeah, it was just a dominate. Now I was happy to see it. So uh, bring the Chiefs back down to earth for a little while. All right, so let's go. Let's see who's next. The Atlanta Falcons. Um, Geez, really no big splashes here. The biggest thing with the Falcons right now is they're keeping Kirk Cousins around. He's going to get that bonus, I think, by being on the roster this weekend. This past weekend, he got a bonus for that, and I don't understand that because they're saying they're going to get rid of him. They're whether it's a trade or cut. They're saying Kirk Cousins won't be in Atlanta next year, but why are you going to pay him that bonus? I don't understand.
Well, that goes back to when you drafted Michael Penix in the first round, and then now you won't. I don't know. They don't give guys a chance anymore. That's my personal opinion. They just really don't give people. You had one bad game, maybe two bad games. Excuse my language. The hell with you. We'll go on to somebody else.
Yeah, I use this as an example all the time about how quick, especially a rookie quarterback, can can be shut to the side. Going back to your boys, look at Troy Aikman, his rookie year. He struggled. I mean, he was on, which they didn't have the greatest team in the world, but he struggled, and uh, but you gave a rookie quarterback back then at least 3 years. If they didn't do it after 3 years, then yeah, they were gone. But now, if a rookie quarterback struggles halfway through his rookie season, they're talking about he's a bust. He's a bust already. So it's something. We got a comment up here. Aiden Buren says Tampa Bay won free agency so far. We'll see about that. We'll get to them in a few minutes. We'll talk about that. Yeah, so Atlanta doesn't. Let's go to my favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens.
Cooper.
Cooper Rush goes from one quarterback to the next, one quarterback that chokes in big time to the next,
Right.
from
I
Dak
think,
to Lamar.
right.
What do you think, man? I mean, you don't have that safety net in Cooper Rush no more. He gets a 2-year, $12.2 million contract.
I think that was a little steep for a second string quarterback, but Cooper Rush spent 6 or 7 years in Dallas, and every time he suited up, even like last season, I felt just as good as if not good when Prescott's in the lineup. If that's saying anything, but Cooper Rush, he knew the offense. I mean, he knew how things worked around there.
Well, especially that first year he had to step in for Dak. He did a good job that year. I mean, this year not as good, but he was still decent. But that first year when he stepped in for Dak, he did a good job. I mean, so maybe Baltimore have watched him there. And then Baltimore signs DeAndre Hopkins to 1 year, $6 million deal. I mean, DeAndre was okay in Kansas City, but I think he's seen his best days. Will he make a difference in Baltimore? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be all pro DeAndre Hopkins again. But they retain left tackle Ronnie Stanley, who gives them a hometown discount. They say he gets $20 million a year, 3 years, $60 million. If you call that a hometown discount, I can't imagine playing for $20 million a year. But anyway, now we're getting into big money now. How about Buffalo? Josh Allen, 6 years, $330 million contract. And I think I can't, let's see, $250 million guaranteed. What's this guy going to do with $250 million for first off? And what do you guys think about 6 years, $330 million for Josh Allen?
I'll let you go first, Matthew.
Man, I don't know what I would do with that much money, but I guess when you live in that kind of lifestyle, you got plenty of stuff you can do with it. But when I saw that contract, I said, "Golly day, the Buffalo Bills, they ain't gonna never let him go." I mean, that's 6 years. 6 years is it's not a long time, but it is a long time in the NFL.
Yeah, I think they, I don't blame them for the 6-year contract. I wouldn't want him to get away from me if I was Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills either. But yeah,
But at the same time, though, Buffalo's got to do something different because they're always knocking at the door, but cannot get past that divisional game in the playoffs. Because they always get hung up, against Kansas City.
yeah, they got to get over the hump.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's going to take for them. It obviously isn't Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen ain't making it worse or making it better, but they got to do something else too.
All right, Eric, let's hear your opinion on that.
I think Josh Allen was a lot of money, yes, but like I said, to me, if I picked any quarterback just from last season, now not saying overall, that was the best quarterback from last season. It's no doubt, and I reckon with the extra money he got, he can buy some more tables for the fans to jump off and break. But overall, I think Josh Allen, he's probably one of my favorite non-Dallas Cowboy players.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching him.
I agree. So we got another comment coming in. DK is a stupid move by the Steelers from William Coggins. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a few minutes. We'll get to that. So Buffalo, not only with Josh Allen, they retained Khalil Shaker, which I thought was a good move. They pick up Joey Bosa, who was cut by the Chargers. If he can stay healthy, and he's taking Von Miller's place, because Von Miller was let go by the Bills. yeah, he might be all right. Well, and then they pick up, which I think will be a good pickup, and then Josh Palmer, the wide receiver from the Chargers. Um, you know, a lot of people, including myself, last year thought Buffalo was going to struggle a little bit last year. They would come back down a little bit, but they adapted. And uh, like Matthew said, if they could have got over that hump with Kansas City, I don't know what they would have been able to do with Philadelphia. But and that night, I don't think anybody could have beat Philadelphia that night the way their defense was played. So anyway, who's next? Buffalo. Then we got Carolina.
They got my boy Rico Dowdle.
Rico down.
We traded.
Lord, I know you did losing Rico. Uncle Rico.
I'm gonna tell you, this is me as a Dallas fan. Last year, I kept telling the guy, people that was Cowboys fan, I said Dallas needs to start running the ball more. I said, depending on Prescott, and then they started to rush the same way. I started handing the ball off more, and then Dallas started winning some ball games. So I don't think he's a stud by no means. He's not I wouldn't call him a bum back.
No, I wouldn't call him that either.
But he might be for Carolina.
Let's see. The Panthers paid cornerback J.C. Horn 4-year contract, $100 million. They get Andy Dalton back 2 years, $8 million. And really the Rico Dowdle was the big thing there. Patrick Jones, 2 years, $20 million. Trayvon Morig, a safety, 3 years, $51 million, but nothing big there. No big splashes. Rico was about the biggest splash they got that they went out and signed from another team. All right. Chicago Bears. So they were pretty active. They traded for Joe Thuney from the Chiefs. They traded for another offensive line, Jonah Jackson from the Rams. Then they get Grady Jarrett from the Falcons, a long time Atlanta Falcon. But it looks like they're trying to Drew Dalman from the Falcons as well, center. They're trying to upgrade that offensive line to take care of their quarterback now. So maybe Caleb Williams will be a little more protected next year. Then he'll have another excuse why they ain't winning ball games in Chicago. What you think about Chicago?
Go ahead, Matthew.
I think they made some, pretty good moves. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the draft. Maybe they can be a solid team again with after the draft.
We'll see. That basically offensive linemen. Like I said, they want to, and maybe that I'm hearing that's what they're going to do in the draft too. So we'll see. So the Bengals, we've already talked about pretty much about them. They did keep tight end Mike Gesicki. So they've got pretty much all their receivers coming back. Nothing big that they signed. They pretty much kept a lot of guys. They retained a lot of guys, but they didn't really. They signed 2 guys. Samaje Perine, 2 years, $3.8 million. He's a running back, but
they couldn't do much.
Yeah, one much they really could do after this, but they retained a lot of guys, but nothing big. Cleveland Browns, holy mess. Let's talk about this pickup first. They made a trade. They got old Kenny Pickett from the Eagles, quarterback for the Eagles. They told Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett said, I want a quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Well, they got one. Kenny Pickett was on the Eagles roster last year, so he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Lord have mercy, Kenny Pickett. Why? What is? I don't understand the obsession with him all of a sudden, but he's not good. But they've got him. They get Myles Garrett gets 4 years, $160 million, so $40 million a year contract. After that, between that, I know they restructured Watson's contract again. You guys see he's getting married. He's getting married now. He's got a fiance.
Yeah, he'll fake Andrew so they can spend more time together.
Somebody said he finally got the happy ending he wanted.
Right.
Also, they signed another former Steeler, linebacker Devin Bush. He was on the roster last year. I think they had got rid of him, but they got him back again. So 1 year, $3.25 million. He had a good rookie year, and then gets hurt his second year. And after he came back from that knee injury, he was never the same. His rookie year, he would fly all over the field going after the ball. And it was like he got scared after that knee injury. He was backing up. And I don't know. But anyway, Cleveland Browns, like I said, they could screw up a 2-car funeral. They always do. They haven't let me down yet. Dallas Cowboys.
Oh Lord. Go ahead and skip them.
Trade for I can't pronounce that first name. Elam, cornerback from the Bills, and Kenneth Murray, linebacker from the Titans. Look at this.
That's the best pick Dallas got.
Well, I can't pronounce that defensive tackle's name either. What's his name?
Solomon Thomas.
No, the one they just signed 4 years, $80 million. They retained him.
Ozil Digazua.
Yeah, there you go. Good job, Eric. I'm impressed. So they kept him $20 million a year. Is he worth that?
Dallas needs a lot, but he did help out in the run game a lot. And Dallas needs that Ray Lewis, that Stone Cold, somebody at middle line. But I mean, they need somebody that can stop the run. Dallas last year was like when a team wanted to run the ball like part in the Red Sea. It was just awful.
They were gashing them on the run game. You're right.
And Parsons, he's awesome at getting to the quarterback. One of the best probably ever do it. But he is horrible against the run. And Overshown, he done very good at, getting to the ball carrier, but it just felt like we were taking 5 yards back before we could even, get to the running back. And it was just like, why ain't teams running the ball more against Dallas? Because Dallas should have probably been 3-14 if you would have ran the ball against them.
Yeah, y'all definitely snuck one out against us. We should have beat y'all that night. Jeez. I can't believe we lost that game. Solomon Thomas, like you said, y'all signed him 2 years, $8 million. We talked about Miles Sanders, gets a 1-year contract. Dante Fowler, 1 year, $8 million. What you think about Dante Fowler?
I like Dante Fowler.
I do. I like him. I like him.
Followed, Dan Quinn to Washington, but I was a big Dante Fowler fan, and glad to see him back with the boys.
So, Denver Broncos, they made some moves. They get tight end Evan Ingram from the Jaguars, another weapon for Bo Nix. They signed, let's see, who is this guy here? Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, 3 years, $35 million. And then they get a backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham, 2 years, $12 million. They retain him. Who else? The rest of them are just Talanoa Hufanga, 3 years, $45 million for safety. So I'm not familiar with him, but they paid him $15 million a year. So they're making a lot of moves to try to help Bo Nix out. Bo Nix surprised a lot of people last year, leading the Broncos to the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Broncos. Is it going to be? Do we have a sophomore slump from Bo Nix? And they picked up a wide receiver, Trent Sherfield. I don't know where he came from either. I'm not familiar with that guy. You know who that guy is?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. But so that should be a team you got to watch out for. Evan Ingram, that's a big weapon. I think they wanted to upgrade their tight end spot, but that's a big weapon for.
Didn't he play with Dallas at one point in time before Jaguars?
No.
No.
Didn't y'all have an Ingram on y'all's team?
I thought Ingram played for the Giants.
He did. He played with the Giants before he went to the Jaguars.
Yeah. You had him. Where you at, Matthew?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember him like that.
Hold on. I'm going to make sure, but I'm almost positive y'all drafted him.
You didn't have a quarterback to give him the ball.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't remember his name much.
Of that,
we still don't have one.
Yeah, 23rd pick in the first round of 2017 draft, New York Giants.
That's right. There you go.
Jeez, Matthew.
I know. I'm
Played
terrible.
there
I
for
tell you
4
what.
years.
I tell you what. After about a year, I can't remember much before that. I'm getting old, Stevie.
Tell me about it, dude. So let's see. Detroit Lions. They retained a lot. Marcus Davenport, Zeke Turner, Morgan Cox, Derek Barnes. A lot of guys on defense. Then they signed DJ Reed, which I think that was a pretty good pickup for them. 3 years, $48 million. With the Lions, if they can keep the injury bug out this year, you guys think that window closed a little bit on them from last year for the Super Bowl?
I don't think it is. If they don't get injured, they can give Philadelphia a run for the money. Which Philadelphia, by far, they got the best team. I mean, roster. Even I hate Philadelphia. You know I do. But they got the players. They got the coach. They had the organization. Everybody's behind Philly, and that's why. That's why they're successful.
Well, you lost both your offensive and your defense coordinators, so we'll see how that works out.
Stacked too. They are stacked.
Oh, they're stacked. Yeah, but I just want to see how losing both your coordinators works because what is his name? Ben. What's his name? The offensive coordinator.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he's the head coach of the Bears, and then what's his name? Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets. He's the head coach of the Jets now. So we'll see how that works out for him. But I'm looking for another big year from them. We'll see. Green Bay Packers, not big moves here. They signed Nate Hobbs for cornerback for 4 years, $48 million. Aaron Banks, 4 years, $77 million, offensive lineman. But not a whole lot of moves there. So just a handful of moves there. The Texans, they trade for Christian Kirk from the Jaguars. They trade for C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles. And then Ed Ingram, the offensive lineman from the Vikings. Now, we ain't got to Philly yet, but Philly's losing a lot of guys, especially on that defense. You think that's going to affect them a little bit next year?
I don't think so because they're still so young with that front four and that other stuff. And then Cooper DeJean is a dog. And then you're getting right back in the draft again. As a Dallas fan, I hate to see Philadelphia coming.
Yeah. The amount of money they spent on that defense last year, I think it was like they were one of the lowest team as far as money spent on the defense. They were in the bottom 5, I think, of money spent on defense last year. That ought to tell you something right there. Like you said, Cooper DeJean, I was hoping somehow he was going to fall in Pittsburgh's lap last year. But, you can't get Peyton Wilson and him, which I think we got a good one with Peyton Wilson. But, man, if somehow that could have fell in Pittsburgh's lap, that would have been great. Let's see. Who else did Houston get? Nobody really big here. The Colts. Charvarius Ward from the 49ers. Of course, now you got a quarterback controversy in Indianapolis because Anthony Richards is there. You see Anthony Richards kind of struggled at times last year, but now you got one of Matthew's old buddies coming into town. Daniel Jones coming to town, a 1 year, $14 million contract after he spent part of the end of last year with Minnesota. Matthew, what do you think about Daniel Jones as the coach? You think the change of scenery is going to do him good?
Well, he went to Minnesota. I don't know what he did over that way, but
he didn't even get in the lineup. I don't think
I
that.
didn't think so. But I don't know. I don't see him playing much on the front line unless old boy gets hurt. But I don't know. They ought to go to Super Bowl now if they put Daniel Jones in all 17 games.
I wouldn't count him out playing too much because they benched Richardson last year and put Joe Flacco in. So
yeah.
You never know with Daniel Jones. You know, you never know what you might get. Now, if he's got an offensive line, he might do all right. Ain't that right, Matthew?
Yeah, that might be a good. Yeah, offensive line. That's where it all starts.
All right. So moving on, Jacksonville Jaguars. Uh, Nothing really big here either. I mean, they Patrick McCoy, offensive lineman, 3 years. It two tight ends that I don't really recognize their name. De'Ami Brown from the Commanders, wide receiver from the Commanders. They got him. Um, Trevor Lawrence. Is this a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence needs to go to a different team. I big fan of Trevor Lawrence. Not just saying because I'm a fan, but he needs to go to a different team because he's getting a bad name for himself in Jacksonville.
He struggles. He's struggling there, and I think it's getting he's just getting complacent with it there. There was a rumor before free agency started that the Steelers had called the Jaguars to inquire about trading for Trevor Lawrence. My thing was there's no telling how much you would have to give up for Trevor Lawrence right now to trade because Jacksonville is going to hold on to him. But that might have been a good thing for Trevor Lawrence. But a change of scenery. He's coming off that big concussion, off that dirty hit he took last year. I think that was against the Texans. I may be wrong whether it was the Texans or not, but so he kind of shut down the last quarter of the year last year. Yeah, I think this is a year where if he doesn't show out, you might see Jacksonville be willing to make moves by the trade deadline.
There was rumors about him going to the Raiders, and that might be okay for him.
Yeah, it could be okay. I think a change of scenery would do him good.
Yeah,
like Sheryl Crow said, a change would do you good. Let's go to the Super Bowl runner-up. It's nice to say that, the Kansas City Chiefs. So they retained Hollywood Brown, Kareem Hunt. They just re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster. They also picked up a new backup. Minshew Mania headed to Kansas City, boy. Can't you see Patrick Mahomes getting hurt late in a playoff game and Gardner Minshew coming in there and saving the day? Former ECU Pirate. So they also got another quarterback, Bailey Zapp. Who knew you got a quarterback room there. Gosh, no, with Bailey Zapp there, it's got to be great. Nothing big except for those two. That, like I said, looking back on that Super Bowl, guys, and he's even come out and said it now. Travis Kelce looked like he was in another world out there that night. I mean, there was one play. I don't know if you guys remember. I've watched it over and over again because me and Eric like to watch a lot of film.
Man,
yeah, Travis Kelce, and this may have been the first possession in the second half. Mahomes is pressured. He breaks free. He hustles. I mean, he makes he doesn't get the first down, but he gets where he should have got sacked. He ends up getting about 7 yards, breaking 3 tackles. The whole time, Travis Kelce sits there and watches, never moves. Like me and Eric tell our guys, don't be a spectator, be a participator. And Travis Kelce was a spectator on that play. And even he came out and admitted he was not on his game in the Super Bowl. And then they said, oh, he was hurt or he was sick or something like that. No, he had Taylor Swift pneumonia or something like that when he came in there that night. That whole thing, he had a bad game.
They said he was on the sidelines fixing his hair and all that mess.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with him, I don't think. I think that's just an excuse. But anyway, so Kansas City had a chance to three-peat. You think Kansas City gets back to the Super Bowl this year?
I can't never count them out. I don't think nobody else can either.
I would say I say they make it again.
Yeah,
I think so. You think they're going to pull a Buffalo Bill and make it to 4 straight Super Bowls?
I see them making it again.
Yeah. Somehow they seem just to squeeze right on through. I thought the past 3 years they weren't going to make it, but look where I was wrong.
Well, they also had, I'll say it, they had a little help, I think, at times. But
Oh yeah.
what do I know? All right,
We all know that.
Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas trades with Seattle against Geno Smith, which was a shocker to me.
Yes.
I mean, I did not see that coming. I thought Geno would be with the Seahawks till he retired. They re-signed Max Crosby 3 years, $106.5 million. And this hurt me here, guys. Landon Roberts, middle linebacker, played for the Steelers the last 2 seasons. Gosh, a big time run stuffer and just a great guy. They let him go for $3 million to the Raiders. And I was hoping they were going to keep him. They Raiders signed Jeremy Chin, safety, from the Commanders. Raheem Mostert, 1 year, $2.1 million, running back. Okay, Aiden Bjorn is saying the Packers just signed McCole Hardman to a 1 year deal.
Oh, that's good. That's a good deal for that's Packers.
Yeah, Packers need a little help with the wide receivers. What's the guy's name? So freaking fast, but he stays hurt all the time. Wide receiver for the Packers.
Romeo Dobbs,
No, it's another one.
Watson.
Yeah, Watson. He is fast as lightning, but he cannot stay healthy. He gets hurt every time the wind blows on him. So let's go to the Chargers. Khalil Mack, they re-signed him for a 1 year, $18 million. After Khalil Mack was talking about he may retire if he doesn't get the kind of deal he wants to. They get Mekhi Becton. I believe he was with the Eagles. That's another Eagles right there. Sign my boy Najee Harris from the Steelers. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. This will be my first rant against the Steelers. How do you let this guy go? What has this guy done? First of all, that you wouldn't sign his rookie option because he's never missed a game. He's had over 1,000 yards rushing every year, and he runs hard. He may, yeah, he fumbled against the Eagles last year. Running backs fumble from time to time, but Najee has been a good player in Pittsburgh. That 1-2 punch with him and Jalen Warren, I liked. I don't know. I didn't like the Steelers letting him walk, but that's just me.
Y'all need the extra money to sign Aaron Rodgers.
That's going to be your extra money there for the Giants. We'll get to that in a second. So Mike Williams comes back to the Chargers, 1 year, $6 million. Chargers signed a lot of Steelers. You know, Mike Williams got traded to the Steelers midway through last year. Dante Jackson, who was a Steeler last year, cornerback, 2 years, $13 million. Of course, they let Bosa go. So we'll see what Harbaugh does. He had a good first year, better first year than a lot of people thought he would because he got rid of a lot of guys. But, a lot of offensive weapons were gone. So we'll see how Harbaugh does this year. The Rams, a lot of talk before free agency started that Matthew Stafford was going to be traded, that they were going to let him go. At the last minute, I know Pittsburgh was hard at work trying to get him. There was Giants were trying to get him. So he restructures his contract and ends up staying with the Rams. Garoppolo, he re-signs as a backup. Devontae Adams, that short stint with New York, 2 years, $46 million. Eric, what do you think about Devontae Adams? Is he done, or has he still got some left in him?
He still got something left in him, but I thought it was stupid for you to say you're not going to pay Cup, but you're going to pay Devontae Adams. And if I'm not mistaken, they got to be around the same age. And Cup, he still was productive.
The biggest thing with Cup that I heard that they said that he was injury prone, and now with what's his name, Puka
Nakua.
Yeah, they looked at him as expendable now. And I don't agree with it. I would love to see Cooper Kupp come to the Steelers, but ends up We'll talk about that in a minute where he ends up at. He didn't stay after they cut him. He didn't stay gone long without a job for long. The Dolphins, uh, Zach Wilson, watch out. Watch out, all you mothers in Miami. Zach Wilson's on the prowl. He's left New York. He's on the prowl. 1 year, $6 million contract. Um, really not a lot of big. Artie Burns. You remember Artie Burns?
Mm-mm.
I sure do, because Pittsburgh drafted him in the first round about 9 years ago. He was a bust. And I didn't even know he was still playing until the other day when they said that the Dolphins had signed Artie Burns. I was like, what?
Must have been a bust because I never heard of him.
Yeah, he was a cornerback, and he was not good. Not good. So we ain't gonna spend much time on the Dolphins there. Sorry, Cole Taylor. We ain't gonna spend much time on him. The Vikings traded for Jordan Mason. Why did the 49ers let Jordan Mason go?
I thought he was a stud for. I mean, he picked up where he was. Don't get me wrong, he was no McCaffrey, but he shocked me.
He filled in really well for McCaffrey when McCaffrey's hurt. Now, you're the 49ers now. Unless you got another plan, you got a backup running back because as injury prone as McCaffrey is, you got a backup plan now. Or you going to draft somebody, or you just lost a good backup right then and traded him. I mean, I don't understand it. Minnesota, they re-signed Aaron Jones. They retained Byron Murphy, Harrison Smith, who keeps playing. Then they pick up. This was a move I was hoping he would come back to Pittsburgh. Javon Hargrave, who got let go by the 49ers, he signs. Jonathan Allen from the Commanders. That defensive line with Allen and Hargrove, just them two right there, is going to be awesome. Should be awesome. Offensive guard Will Freeze, 5 years, $88 million. But they lost the quarterback. So I guess now you're going with the rookie because Sam Darnold is gone. You're going with your rookie, with second-year quarterback, but technically a rookie when you missed the whole year. He didn't even step on the field, I don't think. I don't even think he stepped on the field in preseason, did he?
I don't think so.
And so, I guess that's the direction you're going. All right. The Patriots got a lot of money. So they Carlton Davis, they signed him from the Buccaneers. Milton Williams, defensive tackle, 4 years, $104 million. Morgan Moses, an offensive lineman. Josh Dobbs is your backup quarterback. And they just signed today Garrett Bradbury, who got let go by the Vikings, the center. They signed him today, 2 years, $12 million. I'm sure they've got a lot more money, and I'm sure they're going to make some more deals here. The Saints, they traded for Devon Godchaux for the Patriots. They keep Chase Young. They signed Justin Reed from the Chiefs, the safety from the Chiefs. Not a whole lot of money. The Saints are in cap trouble. Saints and the Chiefs are in cap trouble. They need to make a lot of moves, or they ain't gonna be able to make splashes for sure. The Giants. Here we go, Matthew.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
So you keep Darius Slayton.
Which I'm happy about. You
keep Tommy DeVito because you don't want the mob to come and take y'all out.
Right.
Let's see. Who we got here that y'all signed?
Paulson Adebo is my favorite one.
Safety. Cornerback. Yeah. You got Javon Holland, a safety.
Yeah, I was excited for that one too.
Yeah, so y'all are looking more on the defensive side, it looks like. You got
we picked up some offensive linemen too.
You got 3 offensive linemen, but you got a cornerback, a safety, a defensive lineman, defensive tackle, 2 defensive tackles, and a linebacker. So maybe y'all plan it. What do you think? What do you think the move the Giants making the draft? What number y'all picking?
3.
Okay, so you got Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. You think they're going to be gone by the time they get to number 3?
Uh, I think so. I don't know. I'm hoping Travis Hunter will go before at least one of them.
What
Um,
about Travis Hunter, the Giant?
which would be fine if we can get like a younger free agent quarterback. Like I'd be okay with Russell Wilson.
No, you getting Aaron Rodgers.
No, I hope not. Golly, with the demeanor of Brian Dable, our head coach, and we already know he's got some relationship issues and some head issues, and Aaron Rodgers does too. I don't think it's going to be good. He's going to bring more drama than the soap operas.
DeVoe has got to make some kind of moves because I think him and what's your general manager's name?
Joe Shane.
That I'm pretty much hearing you either win this year or you're gone.
Oh yeah. They're definitely on the hot seat. They're drafting and free agenting for their job right now, and I think they're doing pretty good if they can sign a veteran quarterback. I don't like Jameson Winston, but he'll be a great bridge quarterback and if we can get him, and we can draft a quarterback like Cam Ward, I hope, and I think Jameson Winston will be a good bridge quarterback to teach Cam Ward or even Russell Wilson. But
Question for both of you. What do you think Jackson Dart can be an NFL quarterback?
Yes.
yeah, oh yeah,
I do too. I think that's going to be a uh, a surprise to some people. I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go earlier than a lot of people think.
it's gonna be like the Bo Nix.
That's the best. I will say it now. That's the best quarterback in the draft. I'll say it. To me, he's the best quarterback.
I got you. I'm just saying. I think he's going to go a lot earlier than people think. A lot of the drafts were saying 15th and after. I think he's going to throw a monkey wrench in a lot of people's plans. I think he is.
Well, I think he's definitely over Shador Sanders, but I don't know Cam Ward.
That Dion's going to come get you now, bud.
Well, I mean, he can come find me if he can get through these back roads.
My question is, if y'all draft Shador Sanders, is Dion giving y'all permission to draft Shador Sanders? Because he said there was only a couple of teams he would play for.
That was a rumor. Apparently, they said Deion Sanders says he'll never let his son play for the Giants. But Deion or Shador one said like, "Hey, get your facts straight. Wherever he lands, where he lands, the Giants number one media is the number one in the media. So Deion and Shador is all about the glamorous.
Yeah, they like that attention.
Yeah, so that's one reason why I don't care for Shador Sanders. I mean, I don't think he likes too much of the attention. Not Cam Ward. He seems more like he's about football. Jackson Dart. He seems like he's about football.
Yeah. So go to the other New York team, the Jets, and they get their new quarterback, which how we let them just I know why he left. Justin Fields gets a 2-year, $40 million deal as a new New York Jets quarterback. Looking at some of the other moves, Brandon Stevens, cornerback, they get him 3 years, $36 million. Really not much there after that. So
I was really hoping Giants was going to pick up Fields. I like Fields. I was surprised he went to the Jets.
That was my first pick between all the quarterbacks if Pittsburgh was going to take him. But the thing, Pittsburgh, the what I hear, Fields wanted Pittsburgh to commit to him long term as a starter, and Pittsburgh's thinking we're going to draft either this year or next year. We're going to draft a young quarterback and try to build him. So whoever gets the quarterback job at Pittsburgh now is just, unless they come out and win the daggone Super Bowl, or it's going to be a bridge quarterback to a younger quarterback. So and Fields wasn't. He he wanted to be the man, and I wouldn't have been disappointed if we'd had Fields there, you know. But now, especially if Aaron Rodgers still out there, might come here. I don't want that head case. That's for
Well,
sure.
Stevie, I could be wrong, but I think that's why the Giants and the Steelers are waiting so long on Aaron Rodgers because, I mean, I don't think he wants to be a bridge quarterback.
What
And they made these. I
40
guarantee you,
freaking 1 years old, coming off the worst year of his freaking career. What does he think he's going to do? Does he think
whoa,
he's not?
no, it wasn't his worst career. He had some good numbers.
He padded those stats at the end of the year. He
Yeah,
can say anybody that tells me Aaron Rodgers was a decent quarterback last year, you need to go start watching more football. You've lost your freaking mind. He
Well,
was not.
5-12.
Yes, you had a team that was built for a playoff run, and he destroyed it.
yeah.
He is a cancer. He is a cancer, guys. He's not Tom Brady.
As soon
He's
as he got in there, he got old boy fired. Was it defense coordinator, offensive coordinator?
We got the coach fired. He can say what he wants to. He got the coach
Yeah,
fired.
yeah.
I
That's why I
didn't
say I'm
to do
good.
with that. Bull crap.
Yeah.
We ain't stupid. Um,
But he didn't have a bad season, I didn't think. I mean, didn't he throw like how many touchdowns?
there was
And
a
how
lot
many?
of that crap in garbage time, Matthew. He was not this. You know, there were times in his career where Aaron Rodgers scared folks. Nobody was scared of Aaron Rodgers last year.
Yeah,
Nobody was intimidated by Aaron Rodgers. Nobody. He can do his little discount double check and all that crap, but no, and do his little chin strap deal. Nobody was intimidated by Aaron Rodgers. He's 41
even
years old.
with his boyfriend Adams.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Devontae Adams. He brought his buddy with him, and
Yeah,
that didn't work. They thought that move where they were on Pat McAfee show, where Devontae Adams come up behind him, that was going to be the big thing. This is Super Bowl time for the Jets. No,
yeah.
no, he destroyed the Jets team. They've got to start building again because of that crap. Um, let's move on. Now that I've got that ran over with. And now that I say that, it'll probably come out as soon as we finish the show. Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah,
yeah. Hope so.
I hope they say Giants signing. So the Eagles in the Kenny Pickett trade to get a backup quarterback, Dorian Thompson, Robinson. I mean, why? Why you trade Pickett? I heard that Deshaun Watson had a lot to do with that trade because he was just intrigued by Kenny Pickett's small hands, but I don't know if that's the case or not. But anyway,
Adore Jackson came from us.
yeah, they signed him for a year. AJ Dillon, running back, he signed for a year. They give Saquon. Gosh, where did Saquon play before he came to Philly?
Oof.
Gosh, I can't remember.
I can't.
It was a team that said he couldn't play anymore, and daggum, he didn't set like rushing records and stuff. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody in the NFC. What?
Y'all can shut up because I'm right there with y'all.
Oh my gosh!
That was the stupidest move the Giants could have made right there. They gave that money to Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley. Yeah, Saquon Barkley turned around and punched him right in the mouth.
Saquon Barkley sent thank you presents to all the Giants front office. Thank you for getting me a Super Bowl, and thank you for getting me a 2-year, $41.2 million extension as well.
Heck yeah.
And he may have a crap year this year, but daggum if he didn't prove the Giants wrong.
He did. He sure did. Brian Dable.
He was a dog, but he looked
Took
good.
his team, and he didn't do hardly anything in the Super Bowl. He didn't put up numbers, but guess what? He freed up the passing game because all of the Chiefs, you saw every time Saquon was running the ball, all the Chiefs were flying wherever he was at. They were determined they were going to stop Saquon first. and that opened up the pass game for Jalen Hurts. So yeah, he didn't put up the big numbers in the Super Bowl, but he was the reason Jalen Hurts was able to do what he did.
Absolutely. I tell you, Brian Dable and Joe Shane ought to get fired for that right there. I'm telling you, man, that was
I
stupid.
agree. And let me tell you something else. This guy's a stud as well. This is one of my favorite players. There, Eric, you were talking about one of your favorite players was Josh Allen outside of Cowboys. Watching this guy this year play linebacker for the Eagles, Zach Bone,
Yes.
who was a cast off and came to the Eagles. And man, I was just watching him all the year. I was like, who is this guy? Where did this guy come from? And he gets a freaking new contract, 3 years, $51 million. He got an interception in the Super Bowl, but he is a freaking stud. I love Zach Bone. And I'll marry him too if he wants me to.
Huh?
Dang.
Back home, Stevie.
All right. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh Lord.
So Pittsburgh is never one of these teams to make this big splash move. So you imagine that Sunday night how shocked I was to see DK Metcalf coming from Seattle. I mean, and I'm like, okay, we gave up a second round pick. He's going to be a rental. And then they come out 5 years, $150 million, $30 million a year. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute here. Why are we spending money like this?
Hold up.
So quarterback carousel starts falling. We're not getting anybody. We get Mason Rudolph, which I'm okay with. I'd rather have Mason Rudolph than Aaron Rodgers. But they're saying they're bringing Mason Rudolph in as a backup. That's the plan. So who, is it Russell? Is it Aaron? Is it Jameis? Is it Joe Flacco? Can you imagine Joe Flacco playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers after being a Raven for so long in so many big games against the Steelers early in his career? I mean, playoff games, games that meant something, intense games in that Ravens Steelers rivalry. Can you imagine if Joe Flacco suited up for the Steelers? I would be like, that would be one of the, we talk about, and this is going to have to be a show that we do, guys. Guys that played, like, for instance, Franco Harris played his last year in Seattle. Seeing guys in another uniform that just didn't look right. We need to come up with a handful of guys seeing guys in another uniform that just didn't look right.
We just talked about one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looked right to him because he got a ring. Bling, bling.
Right.
Saquon got a ring, boy.
Sure did.
But, yeah, Pittsburgh gets DK Metcalf, which that should be interesting with his attitude and George Pickens' attitude. Yeah, there's liable to be a lot of personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct, and they may beat up each other on the field. Who knows? I mean, they may be fussing with each other.
That's what's gonna happen. Steelers throw a Hail Mary to win the game. Pickens catches it, and DK Metcalf. We got unsportsmanlike conduct. DK Metcalf off somebody else's helmet on the other side.
No, he's liable to tackle him before he gets in the end zone. You can't score that touchdown. That's my touchdown. So we let's see. Darius Slay from the Eagles, which he's the older guy. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, but we signed him for a year. We talked about Mason Rudolph, 2 years, $8 million. Another Philadelphia Eagle with Kenneth Gainwell, the running back. We paid about $2 million for him for a year. Juan Thornhill from the Browns. Maybe he'll see the error of his ways, and maybe with a real team he'll be able to play. But yeah, Malik Harrison from the Ravens. I mean, this is the guy we picked to take Landon Roberts' place, and we signed him for $5 million a year. I would rather pay Landon Roberts $3 million and kept him. Right. I don't know about this Harrison guy. I mean, he may end up being an All-Pro. Who knows? But just doesn't sit right with me. But we got to get a quarterback. And I don't know if you guys, Cam Hayward, longtime defensive lineman for the Steelers, his podcast today, he came out and said, you either want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's it. I'm not going to recruit you. You just tell us, do you want to be a Steeler or not? That's it. Let's move on. And that was directed right at Aaron Rodgers. So um, I don't know. I I don't see, and I know it's getting to a point now with the quarterback situation with what's left out there. I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Aaron Rodgers right now. I mean, he's
They
got
say
big.
they say Aaron Rodgers wants to be a Viking anyway.
Yeah, he's trying to follow Brett Favre's
Brett
footsteps.
Favre. Yep.
They're going from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings and then retiring. Maybe the Saints will beat the crap out of him and send him to retirement like they did Brett Favre. But anyway,
Bounty program.
yep, Bounty Gate.
Then you gonna see him on Wrangler commercials.
I don't like to see him on nothing. I'll turn the channel before I see him on anything. Let's go to one of them dark retreats again and stay there.
Yeah,
All right, so the 49ers. They lose Jordan Mason. Kyle Juszczyk, whatever his name is, they re-signed him for 2 years, $9 million fullback. He went and talked to Pittsburgh and then came back and talked. I was like, we don't need a fullback. We need a quarterback. We don't need to be spending no more money on that till we get a quarterback. Man, it's not a whole lot of move. Matt Jones goes to be the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy, which I think is hilarious.
yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, they lost a lot of guys on defense. Have we seen the end of the 49ers as Super Bowl contenders?
I think so.
I think we have
Yeah,
to.
afraid so.
Oh, I figured you weren't afraid, so I figured you would like that. That's in
Well,
the NFC.
I like Purdy. I mean,
I do like Purdy.
yeah, I like. I can't. It's hard to root against that guy. I don't like 49ers, but I like him.
What was that look, Eric? What was that look when we said we like Purdy? Yeah, you turned your head like, ah.
I think everybody likes Purdy. I mean, Mr. Relevant, but I think he's just not. We talked about him last year on the. He's a game manager. Let's be honest.
Now listen to me here. I read something day before yesterday. Everybody talks about he had a down year last year. A lot of his stats, he was in the top 5 in quarterbacks. A lot of his stats. He can't hit. When you lose a big weapon around you like McCaffrey. You lose that, and they had injuries. The injury bug hit them hard. As I don't know, I don't remember them having many injuries over the last couple of years when they were contending, but it made up for it this year.
I can tell you this: if the 49ers are done being Super Bowl contenders, it ain't Brock Purdy's fault.
Well, now you've lost Debo, so Debo's gone.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, you lost a lot of your defensive players, so I think they're going to have to reload. It's going to be a rebuild time for the 49ers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Seattle.
They picked up a lot.
Yes, they did. They lost one quarterback. And guys, let me tell you this. This is just my opinion. I was scared we were going to get Sam Darnold. And I'll tell you why I was scared. These people, and I know these guys, the NFL experts, the NFL analysts, they know a lot more than I do. No doubt about it. I don't claim to be Mel Kiper. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? I don't claim to be Adam Schefter. I don't claim to be none of them. What did Sam Darnold do before last year?
Exactly. That's what I
sucked every year.
That was a fluke.
I believe it. And everybody said, well, you see what he can do when he got to a good team. Well, what did he do the last half of the year? No. He wasn't as strong as the first half. People knew what to look for and how to shut him down. I mean, you
that's
signed
like Jared Goff, though, from Detroit. I mean, I don't think he was relevant before that, was he?
Jared Goff had one bad year with the Rams. Jared Goff led the Rams to the Super Bowl one year.
Yeah, sure did when they had Todd Gurley running back.
Yeah, and they lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots. Sam Darnold hadn't sniffed a playoff game. Sam Darnold was telling people he was seeing ghosts on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say the Lions. Why Matthew talking about with Jared Goff and his stats that good? I love the Detroit Lions because they run the football. They
Yeah.
run through. They
Mark Gibbs.
yep. Both the running backs and that's smash mouth. I enjoy watching the Detroit Lions. I really do.
Me too. Me too. They're fun. I was rooting for them for the Super Bowl, but
Well,
they didn't get.
another thing with them too, and I don't know if this will change now, Eric. Their offense is wide open. You never know what they're going to do. Ben
Right.
Johnson
Right.
would try some crap throwing to offensive linemen, trying to get them touchdowns just
It
to
was
prove a point
very-
against Dallas.
I said, God Almighty, you might as well put the punt at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean they would try a lot of stuff. So I don't know how much that'll change now, but that's going to be one of the things to watch for this year. Like I said earlier, with both the coordinators gone, how do they adapt? How does Detroit adapt? Sam Darnold gets 3 years, $100.5 million.
That's
Honestly, Seattle fans, Kool-Aid, if you're listening out there, I just don't see it, bud. I just don't see it. He may fool me, but I don't see it. And, whatever. Cooper Kupp lands there, 3 years, $45 million. Another wide receiver, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1 year, $5.5 million. And Eric, I got to talk about this pickup because this made social media little beef going back and forth between former teammates.
go ahead.
DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys, 3 years, $42 million. And he pretty much says, I had to go to a team I thought could win a Super Bowl with.
That. I'm gonna tell you. Sorry, Kool-Aid. You going Dallas to Seattle ain't gonna win you no Super Bowl, buddy.
I agree with you there.
Seattle ain't got no chance.
I could see if you went to somebody like the Lions or somebody like the Chiefs or the Bills or something like that. But Seattle didn't even make the playoffs last year.
Playoffs.
Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? So yeah,
My thing is about
so DeMarcus
what
Lawrence.
do they think Sam Darnold can do over daggone Geno Smith?
They're gonna start playing Ghostbusters when he comes out on the field now. But yeah, Michael Parsons and him had a little beef going back and forth on social media about that. So, which I agree with Michael Parsons. That was just rejection, the pain of rejection, and not them not wanting him to be with Dallas anymore. All right, Tampa Bay, Chris Godwin, which I think is, Chris Godwin. Way I heard, Chris Godwin left a lot of money on the table. He had a bigger offer from another team and to stay in Tampa Bay. And Chris Godwin, that you don't see that a lot, especially with him going through the injury he had last year, that dislocated ankle, which was nasty, a nasty looking injury last year. But he sticks around. Sterling Shepard, he gets signed. Another backup quarterback, Kyle Trask.
I'm happy for us.
Yeah, that's right. He was a giant, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah, he was, and we left on good terms. I mean, I like Sterling Shepard.
So, Hassan Reddick, the edge rusher, gets a 1 year, $14 million deal from the Buccaneers. So we'll see. We'll see if they can build off that playoffs last year with Baker Mayfield.
They're gonna keep going to the freaking playoffs, Reno. The freaking NFC South sucks.
It used to be for a while. I hope Aiden Buer is listening to us talk about this right now. Chime in, please, Aiden, if you are. It used to be like a carousel. It used to be like, okay, we're gonna win it this year. You guys got it next year. It's your turn next year. Like Panthers. Then it went to the Buccaneers, then to the Saints. Who's the other team in that? Atlanta. I mean, and it. How many years have you seen an NFC South team win with just barely? With 1 year, they won with a losing record.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When they played 16 games, they won with a 7-9 record. They won that South and made the playoffs.
I'm about to make a lot of people upset.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Baker Mayfield ain't the answer. Do I think he's a good quarterback? He's not. He's not good. But to play in the NFC South, you're going to dominate the NFC South. But you put him, he's not going to win you the Super Bowl. Sorry, Aiden Buren.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit there.
I gotta disagree too.
Baker Mayfield has been good for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's been good for Baker Mayfield. The answer there, they got to get a freaking running game. Yeah. And I guess they got a young guy that's playing running back now that could be the answer. But
I ain't saying that Baker Mayfield didn't revamp his career in Tampa Bay, because he did, and I'm glad he did turn around. I'm not a hater against Baker Mayfield. I just don't feel like he's the answer for Tampa Bay.
Oh God, here we go. Here we go.
See,
Tampa runs the South, and Baker is top 10 in the league. Oh, Aiden comes in firing off. We done got you riled up, buddy. Riled up.
We're giving the boys drug test for the season start.
Good old Aiden Buren chiming in. I think I'll tell you this. Who did they lose to in the playoffs? Was it Washington they lost to in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yes.
That surprised me, because I thought Tampa was on a run. I mean, Washington was too, but I thought Tampa Bay was playing better ball than Washington was, and that was a really good game. But I think the biggest thing, Aiden, I'll tell you this: the worst thing that happened in that game was when your defensive player from Tampa Bay come up there and patted Jaden Daniels on the helmet like "good job," or when he threw an incomplete pass, did something, and Jaden Daniels, calm and collected, he got fired up and took over that game after that. But yeah, I mean, and Aiden, you can't deny the NFC South is probably one of the weakest divisions in the NFL, if not the weakest.
That's it.
And it's consistently that way. But you know, saying you run the South is, I mean, it's not really saying a whole lot. I mean, you got New Orleans, trash.
Atlanta.
Carolina, trash. Atlanta, trash. I mean, it's not a lot of competition there, really. But anyway, you can't help that. You can't help the division you're in. You just got to win the games. It's kind of like
the Patriots a few years ago.
Patriots in the AFC East. You had 3 trash teams. Everybody was talking about, well, the Patriots are guaranteed to win 5 games. They're going to lose to the Dolphins at least once, but they'll win the other 5 games. I mean, so yeah, you can't help how the teams are. But this has been like that for a long time in the South. So Tennessee Titans,
trash.
I mean, they didn't really make a whole lot of moves. Dan Moore, they signed Dan Moore from the Steelers, who was horrible. I mean, offensive lineman, 4 years, $82 million. Good riddance. Let you have him. Aiden's making once we get a consistent pass rush and one more start in secondary, we're going on a dangerous run. They're going to be 8-9 next year, win the division. No, I can't say anything because we're satisfied every year now just getting one game above 500, so I can keep the streak alive. So
go to the playoffs in the first.
Yeah, not win a playoff game. Win a freaking playoff game, Mike Tomlin. But yeah, nothing big with Tennessee, so we're going to just get right through that one. Commanders, they get Debo from the 49ers. They pick up Laramie Tunsil, left tackle from the Texans.
Washington
they keep Bobby Wagner, which I thought was big. Mariota re-signed. Zach Ertz re-signed. Of course, Tress Way, the punter. Yeah, got to have him.
Dog.
Who else? Noah Brown, who caught the Hail Mary from the Bears. He re-signed. So KJ Osborne, he's back. Then they get Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle, to replace who they let go. Uh, so, and they still got some money left. I think a lot of money left. They could go get somebody else.
Matthew, the
Yeah.
Giants Cowboys are going to struggle, buddy, and with Washington and Philadelphia, unless
Oh yeah.
Dallas can somehow miraculously shock me, I don't. They're going to fight it out, and Dallas and them be lucky. Dallas is not going to win the division. I'm not afraid.
It's gonna be Washington. It's gonna be Washington or Philadelphia win the division. And it's gonna be mighty close between Giants and Cowboys, third and fourth place. Because
Oh, really, Eric? You think it's gonna be close?
I ain't gonna say it'll be close, but the Cow-
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that.
no,
I
but
can tell by the look on his face.
Cowboys last year, I guess we were gonna go 10-7. I said that before the season started. I think Dallas went 9-8. I think
I think that's right. I don't know for sure. Let me see.
Dallas this year will go 9-8 again. They it's not strong.
Does Dak make it through the whole year?
I don't know, Stevie. I don't know. I never want to see Dallas lose, but Dallas now. A lot of people, everybody's saying we need to draft Gentry. Do I think Dallas should draft Gentry if he falls there? Yes, no doubt. But people ain't even talking the main part about Dallas. Dallas done lost, excuse my language, the damn near whole offensive line. When we were down,
Dallas was 7-10 last year,
damn.
Eric. Yeah, they were 7-10. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
does Dak make that big of a difference though, Eric? When you don't have a run game?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody can say what they want to say. And I can go on a rant about this for an hour. With Zeke, not the last 2 or 3 years, Zeke has been horrible. But Zeke was the heart and soul of that football team. Then before he got that big contract, he was the heart and soul because they ran the ball. He was getting the ball 25, 30. And that makes it just like Jared Goff. It makes it easy on the quarterback because you can run play action. And Prescott said that we need to start running the ball more to set up my game, which is to play action. And that's when Prescott excels off the play action pass, bootlegs and stuff. He's not a passer, and he's not a scrambling quarterback neither, but he can get out the pocket. He's better rolling left or rolling right and, getting the ball out.
Yeah, if you don't have that run game next year, then I think it's going to be the same old for the Cowboys the last couple of years.
We need to get need to get offensive line.
Yeah. It's you win it in the trenches. You win it in the trenches. So that's the free agency. We're going to go through this March Madness real quick because we talked a little bit longer than we thought, and that starts tonight. First of all, let's just start off with this: Carolina in the NCAA tournament. Eric, Matt, can you give me a reason why Carolina made it in the tournament over these other like Indiana and West Virginia?
Who they are?
Can you justify it?
No.
No. I'm a Carolina fan for days, but I don't see how we made it. I mean, other than who we are, the name.
Do I think that Carolina should have made it? No. But for some strange reason in my heart, I've got Carolina making a run. I'm not saying, Elite Eight or not. They might make it to the Sweet 16, but I would like them to see upset. At least get. I really would like to see them get the Sweet 16, but at least win one game in the tournament. Because now you're going to start doubting every team like that if you don't at least win one game in the tournament.
Yeah, I was talking today to somebody, and I was like, they're like, well, everybody's pulling against Carolina now, and I was like, yeah, said they should just go ahead and lose and get out of it. So everybody started talking about it. I said, no, don't let them lose. Let them win a couple of games, and so people will say, okay, we were wrong.
Yeah. It's time to turn it up a notch now.
If they beat San Diego State tonight, they play Mississippi. Let's say that's the number 6 seed. Then they would probably play Iowa State. I don't think Lipscomb is going to beat Iowa State. Stranger things have happened, but number 3 seed.
Dallas ain't gonna beat Iowa State. I mean, not. Excuse me, Carolina.
Dallas, dude. He's still on the cowboy trick up there. I don't see him beating Iowa State. It would be a big upset for them to beat Iowa State.
Yeah, but I would like to say I would think if Carolina beat San Diego State, they could beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, and that's at 9-10 tonight. So, but looking at let's look at the South. Auburn is the number 1 seed there. Number 2 seed is Michigan State. We talked about Iowa State being 3rd and Texas A&M 4th. Michigan a 5 seed after they won their tournament.
Is that bad? What I'm about to say? I don't feel like that's a strong region.
I don't think it's a strong region. Auburn struggled the last week of the season. You know, they lose in the conference, which, you know, everybody's saying the SEC, you know, yeah, SEC has pumped so much money into basketball now that they are the power conference in basketball. No doubt about it. That's what it's all about, the money going in there. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm looking at Louisville versus Creighton. Creighton might give Auburn a run for their money if they beat Louisville. I don't see Louisville beating Creighton. I just don't see it.
That's going to be a Cinderella team in that region right there.
Creighton?
Well,
that's what I'm keeping my eye on. Michigan, they're on a roll right now. Watch out for them. You know, then you got the Marquette and Michigan State. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, he always goes deep in the tournament, but then he gets let down near the end. Then you got the West. Florida, number 1 seed, which I think Florida's got a really good team. I mean, you need to watch out for Florida. What would happen if Pitino takes St. John's to a Final Four or a national championship game? That would be a good story right there for me to see. I don't really like Pitino, but to see him take St. John's, turn around, who knows how? I know it's NIL money where he's turned around St. John's and the fact that he's Rick Pitino. So, but then you got let's see, Texas Tech is in there. UNC Wilmington, the 14th seed, they take on Texas Tech. Connecticut, the defending national champion, 2-time defending national champion, number 8 seed against Oklahoma.
That's your freaking Cinderella right now. That ought to be.
Who? Oklahoma?
UConn. I mean, they.
I think there's, there's a reason why they struggled all year. I think there's something else going on there that I don't know what it is, but some reason they're struggled the way they have all year. And that Hurley, I never liked the Hurley. Didn't like Bobby. Didn't like the Danny. And when they played ball, and I sure don't like him now. He's arrogant as hell. I'd love to see him lose in the first round. Looking at the East, man, and I hate to give credit where credit's due, but I always do. Duke is complete.
I'm gonna tell you, Duke. I will say this about Duke. Duke is probably the strongest defensive team I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When Carolina went down, even without Cooper Flagg, and what was the other guy's name that was out with the shoulder?
God, Brown was
Brown. Yeah,
Malik Brown, I think is his name.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody was like, well, they might have a chance since them 2 guys are. I was like, I don't think so. And then when Carolina goes down 24 points and makes the run somehow, that's one thing reason. The run Carolina made the last half of the season, and then that run against Duke,
And that's
where you get a lane violation. Never in my life. Bo Daniel making a comment. Duke #1. Yeah, they
Yeah,
look like #1. They are. Look. I give credit what credit's due. As much as I hate it, Duke is complete. But Carolina got within. Probably who knows what would happen that last 4 seconds. Say the guy makes both free throws, and Carolina's up by 1. Duke still could have hit a shot to win the game. It was still 4 seconds left. So I don't know. But Duke's got #2 seed Alabama. Well, Alabama's playing good. Um, Wisconsin's a 3rd seed. They lost to Michigan State. Arizona's a 4 seed. Caleb Love there. Um, I don't see Duke having any problem getting through this bracket. I really don't. It would surprise me.
yeah, it was.
it's going to be a big upset by somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
it would surprise me if Duke struggles with any of these teams here.
I agree.
If Flag is back healthy again, I don't know about Malik Brown how that's going to work, but if you put Flag in there again, yeah, and I think he knows it's going to probably be his last year. Yeah, I mean his first and last year, even though they say he might come back, but yeah, I just don't see it. Midwest, you got Houston, the #1 seed. Tennessee's #2. Tennessee's playing good ball. Your #3 seed is who is it? Where's the 3 seed? Kentucky. Not scared of Kentucky. Your 4 seed, Purdue. Clemson, a 5 seed. Got to watch out for Clemson. I think Clemson, they got the end of the Clemson game in the ACC tournament. Did y'all think that was a foul? Guy gets clobbered from behind.
I'll be honest with you. When
I
Carolina,
didn't,
also, I didn't even watch none of these championship.
Well, I didn't watch that game, but I've watched the highlights, and it said, "Is this a foul?" And at first with the guy in front of him, I said, "No, that ain't a foul." But then the guy behind him, when he takes that shot, clobbers him.
All right.
No foul call. And Clemson got locked out of the freaking uh, locker room, and that locker room was locked at halftime. They had to wait for somebody to come unlock the locker room at halftime in that game.
I
Never,
did see that. I did see that.
never in my life. So I don't know if Houston will come out of this bracket. I would not be surprised to see Clemson come out of here. Tennessee and Clemson. It's going to come down to those two, I think. Kentucky doesn't scare me. Like I said, Kentucky don't scare me. I think they could lose any time. Purdue doesn't scare me. So, we'll have to come back next week and talk about where everything's at. You guys fill out your brackets, check them out. Let's see what you do there. I got to fill mine out. But yeah, I'm hoping there's always a Cinderella team, and like Eric said, it could be Creighton. Creighton could be because they play good ball.
I got UConn.
I just don't see UConn struggle so much, and I don't really call them a freaking Cinderella team. They're the 2-time defending national champion.
Yeah.
See, though, Reno.
I'm looking at a team that nobody's really given a shot, and Creighton has beat UConn. They beat them in the tournament. Creighton went to their championship game, I believe. I got something about Creighton. I feel something about Creighton. Maybe I may have gas or something like that, but it's some kind of feeling I got about them. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. You guys, it's been great getting back talking sports again with you guys. Well, I've missed it. I've missed it terribly. We got to do this more often. Hopefully we can be back again next week. If our schedule, guys, life happens. and our schedules don't coincide a lot. But I've got a lot of ideas that I'm gonna do. We'll do the weekly shows when we can. I've got some stuff I'm gonna do, and I'll let y'all in on it later on. That I've got show ideas that I'm gonna do.
Life
Um,
be life.
huh?
Life be life.
Life be
Yeah.
life. Yeah, life be life. But anyway, um, any last words, Matthew?
No, man, it's great to be back. It's good to be talking ball again up here. Hopefully, we can do it next week.
Yeah, and here we go. Let's see what the last words from Eric is.
I ain't even gonna say how about my Cowboys night.
You just
Uh,
did.
they don't deserve it yet. They don't
Not
deserve it.
we gotta be like the other crazy fans. Soon we get one win though, Reno. It's all you.
Yeah, some of your fans already like that, dude. Some of your fans are already wearing this stuff. Like, no matter how bad y'all are the year before, some of these guys come out here. This is our year. The confetti's gonna fall. Well, Dallas is gonna be there watching the confetti fall.
Yeah.
And last year, somebody said that. I said, y'all better buy a ticket because that's the only way y'all gonna see the confetti fall with Super Bowl.
Eric, how about them UConn?
Xbox or something.
Yeah, play the Xbox, play it on freshman mode in the NFL, and the Cowboys win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Anyway, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this week on the Foul School. I want to thank Aiden, William, and Bo for chiming in. Everybody that we had some likes tonight. Let's see. Brian Mullen, David Richmond, Chris Sanders, former NFL player Chris Sanders. You guys remember him? Played with the Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans, wide receiver. Dalton Van, John Murphy.
One.
Huh?
QB1.
QB1 was out there listening tonight. So thank you guys for chiming in. And guys, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that helps us get out there even more. If you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to, give us a 5-star review. And make sure to check out our Facebook page and give us a like there too. All right, guys. We'll see you hopefully next week. We'll be here talking more about March Madness and Creighton moving on to the and upsetting Auburn. But we'll see. Guys, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time on the Final Score.
Peace out.